think we're live. Oh, we're live now.
Wee.
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 Jeez, it's been ages, mate.
Yeah, it has.
Hey,
Good to see you again.
good to see you, mate. Hardly even see you.
Strangers. Yeah.
Been down. Hey, Shane. Hello, everybody. We haven't done one of these shows for a while. We're at Winger Subaru.
Thank you, Winger.
Done 10,000 kilometres on my Subaru already.
Yeah.
And they said don't go over 10,000. So I've done
I think
it
it's
in
12.
I've done it in 3 months.
Yeah.
So I had to go and tell them, I think I've put quite a few miles on your car already.
Just about worn it out.
G'day RJ, g'day Becky from California, eh? Good on you, mate.
Our wonderful supporters.
Yeah,
Fantastic.
supports everything.
Yeah.
So cool. So what have you been doing, mate?
Well, pretty friggin' good fishing. Fantastic fishing. Like
Really?
At the moment.
It's unusual.
Well,
for you?
Oh, actually, I've got to say, to be honest, 2 weeks ago, I actually really struggled. That was because my buddy Josh had decided that he was going to have dinner for 8 people and that he would supply fresh fish. So he promised everyone fresh fish. And of course, we struggled. And in the end, everyone had to give Josh all of our fish as well just to go and make it happen.
How so embarrassing for you, Josh, if you're watching.
That was a bad one. But we've since then had one on Sunday. Fantastic fishing up round Cowell.
Yep.
Where they were just absolutely smoking everything.
You're a bit cagey on your info around there, you guys, eh? You don't really tell us too much. So where are you fishing, mate?
We were fishing around Flat Rock.
So just north of Flat Rock and those workups and stuff?
Yep.
Really?
Quite near the cable zone.
There were lots of boats there?
Probably, yeah, there were at times, but not where we were. We just decided that we'd go where they weren't.
Yeah.
And like because the workups were so fast, because I mean, we're talking about dolphins, there were heaps of whales.
Well, there's whales there too?
Yeah. And so it was really exciting. I wish I'd taken my kids out because they would have loved it, because the dolphins were coming up right alongside our boat, within 2 or 3 feet of our boat, just almost like I could have touched them. So, that sort of thing, you never get sick of it, eh?
Yeah.
Like all the gannets were raining down, and
a
lot of whale action.
So a lot of whale action. Oh, that's good.
Yep. And gannets just galore.
So if you, I wonder if they're still there, mate?
Well, they'd been for a while, so...
So you launched at Sandspit, burning out your little boat?
No, we launched out of Whangaparaoa.
Right.
And went from there, especially as we knew that the wind was coming from the north later on, so it'd actually be pushing us along.
Yeah.
So that was
I might take the kids on Sunday, because Sunday looks pretty good for weather.
Yep.
No, Friday looks good for weather.
Yep.
Good at Sandspit. You can go launch at the yacht club there. It's $10 for a launch and a retrieval, so it's $20, but it's a pretty good facility.
And they charge you for the living credit card as well, so it makes it $21.
So that quite good. Or you can go down by the wharf and launch down there. It's a sand launch.
Free.
And that's free.
Except you have to park.
But then you have to pay for parking. So it is a good place to launch. So it's Sandspit if you want to head out. I don't know if the workups are there. I hopefully you'll get some intel before the weekend. But it certainly is that time of year, people. And so, how were you catching them, mate?
We were mostly using soft baits, and
soft baits that deep.
We were fishing in around about
40
to 50, probably 40 meters.
Oh yeah.
And got them up to about 7.5 kilos, I'd say.
Wow.
And I was filleting by that stage. You know how when you feel like you've had a good day, you just go, I'll do the filleting. So. Started
You're good like that, mate.
And next moment, he just goes, oh, jeez, and it smokes away, pulls it up, gets this big snapper, lets it go, and just as he's just finished
50 meters, you let it go.
It was about 40. But it was like really flapping around in his hands.
Hey, Jaden.
It was in good shape, and it just smoked away. And then he'd just finished doing that, and the next moment he looked up and he'd had his soft bait rod set as well.
Yeah.
And next moment that gave a couple of bumps, so he picked it up, gave a couple of jiggles, and next moment that thing is just off and gone, like it's a monster. He's hanging on, and then it just stopped, and then it fell off. And I was going, oh, thank you.
Kingfish?
No, it was a big snapper, mate.
Really?
Yeah, big head shakes. So
it's funny, any fish that gets away, it's always a big snapper.
Just the way it was like was banging in the middle.
There's some good fish around. Snapper. And what have you done any other fishing, mate?
There was just the really stuffed one.
Yep.
Where we struggled. And it's just
I saw you that day, didn't I?
It's in the same. Isn't it amazing?
G'day, Kelvin.
Same region,
Yep.
and it's just like night and day. we struggled to find sign, consistent sign. There was hardly any activity, and now it's just the page is turned and it's just all on. It's just amazing.
And so some of your favourite haunts around Motuora, around there, probably starting to fire, I would imagine. I've heard a few little sneaky reports. Motuora, in around there's been workups off, what's it called, Martins Bay, that kind of area. It's certainly good. Yeah,
Turi. Actually, just inside of Turi is actually really good too, near the wharf.
Yep.
Saw quite a lot of sign in there, and traditionally we've caught quite a lot there at this time of the year.
And all along East Coast Bays, there's been workups as well. I even saw one at North Head the other day. So
and also Firth Thames. It's been going off around that way
down
as well.
Firth Thames. So that's so my fishing mate. I did my first Tuesday tutorial charter with Eric Wong. He's my decky. He's a bloody legend. That boy.
He is a legend.
And so we went down to the Firth. All the charter fleet was north. They were hanging out there, but I just had this gut feeling to go down into the Firth, and I was going down there, and everyone's saying, "Don't go that way. It's the wrong way to go." I'm going, "Oh no!" All the punters were hearing what's going on the radio, and I don't go down there, Paul. But I stuck with my gut, and I kept on going, and thank goodness I found a big area of workups with hardly any boats there. Cool. And first two drops, these two guys from England gave them a orange slider with the black aura jelly baby on, dropped it down. It was 15 metres water. It looked like kawa everywhere. It wasn't rounded up. Workups are spread out gannets, just bust ups everywhere. Cool. I thought they were kawa, but wound them in two big snapper. So these got to be kawa because they're peeling so much line out. And it was like, I think we caught one kawa all day, mate. Wow. So it just goes to show, those areas with these, I call them like sifting gannets, with a gannet over here, gannet over there, not really bunched up. So there was hardly any kawa there, mate. Yeah. So I think it might have been, we did get a kingfish, so it might have been kingfish and snapper.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
That's what I love about now, is that mixture of snapper and kings, And that's why I pay a lot of attention to Marcus Hazeldine. When he was here, he just set the charter boat world on fire, and he was using the Lumo and pink combinations at this time of the year, like the spotty, is it pink spotty or
leopard pink? So
leopard pink.
Yep. So glow head and a pink skirt, and Nick Key he does that too, mate. This time
it just becomes absolutely phenomenally effective right now. Like it's actually better than the orange one very often, and it gets a very high incidental catch of kingfish. And we're not just talking about one or two, we're talking about 6, 7, 8 in a session.
And jitterbugs, mate? And jitterbugs.
It just has to be that colour combination of Lumo and bright pink.
So that's the leopard pink jitterbug. And, I keep on saying, guys, don't go past jitterbugs this time of year. We've got our sliders and our jelly babes that are awesome for catching fish, so easy. But when the fishing's hot, try a smaller jitterbug, a smaller one. Like a 60 gram, if you're using 100, 140 gram sliders, just pop on a 60 gram jitterbug, even if you don't make it all the way to the bottom, and see how you go. Because quite often, and that's how you were catching the bigger ones, by trailing this jitterbug out the back a bit more, mate, which goes against everything that we try and teach people.
I personally didn't know about that myself. So I would have just chucked down probably 100 or something to see what was on.
Yeah, exactly, mate. But I've seen it happen. I actually got taught by a little kid, mate. He came on the Tuesday tutorial charter, and he had his own gear, and he wanted to use his own gear. I say, mate, that's probably a bit small. He goes, no, I want to use it. I said, okay. And bang, bang, he got 2 big snapper, and I thought, I just learned something off a little kid, mate.
It was a little bit like William the Kid.
William the Kid up north,
where he chucked on like a quarter-ounce jig head. In 10 metres, and I was thinking, that's a bit light. But next moment, he's hanging onto his rod, smoking away. And I think it's because it just stayed out of the weeds. It's up there waiting to be hit. Whereas mine was getting down into the weeds too low and limited opportunities. So you just never know what's going to work until you actually try it. And that's why you should try not to say, I don't think that's going to work, because very often in the next sort of 10 seconds it's going to go off.
You can keep on experimenting, guys. We can get stuck in our ways of just using the same thing, but it's fun experimenting as well, and that's how we come up with new ideas, new colours, new ways to fish, is by doing something a little bit different. Because if we don't, we'll just get stuck fishing the same way forever.
Well, that's probably the catalyst for you starting that contest on Design Your Own Lure.
Oh yeah. So for those of you who don't know, so we've got a contest running on Facebook at the moment. The post is pinned to the top of our page, and the winner gets to help us design a slider or a coin drop, and they get to pick the colours, so they can pick whatever colours they want, and they get to name the colour as well. So you know, someone like Mark, you might be able to name it the Mark Kitteridge slider. So you can put your name on it if you want. So make sure you go to the top of our Facebook page and enter that contest. It's easy to enter. And if you win, you get to design your own lure. Not the
Very
shape
cool.
of it, but you get to design the colour scheme for it.
Oh, yeah. That sounds really exciting.
So that's pretty cool. Hi, Jeff. Thanks for saying hello. Everyone who says hello, thank you so much for saying hello.
We don't take you for granted, so it's always good to see you there.
No. So what else? So there's a bit of good weather. Should we have a quick look at... Oh, I looked at the weather before, but it wasn't working. Let's have a quick look. So I'll just have a quick look at the weather, people. Just see what's going on out there. Let's have a look. It's still working. Just getting this up and running.
Which one do you use?
Oh, that's the wrong one, mate.
Which one do you use?
I use Swell Map a lot, and I'll show you the feature I do use if it's working. It wasn't working a second ago. It was, so here's the forecast, people. If it's going to work, it was down like an hour ago. Still down. So Swell Map's down at the moment, so I can't show you anyway.
But I think
let's not do
is
that.
it Friday and Saturday looking pretty good?
Yeah, so Friday's looking pretty good. I think you were going out fishing, mate. Going to do some soft hoping. And I think Saturday's a little bit of wind there, but that Sunday morning looks mint. That's the last time I looked. G'day Leslie, g'day Ross, glad you joined us. So yeah, there's some good fishing weather coming up. This wind is it's never ending,
I'm
but
pretty sick of it already, mate.
It is starting to change. The weather pattern is breaking down this pattern we've had, and there is some light at the end of the tunnel right now. It's Friday, Sunday, good fishing, but the fishing pressure out there has probably been quite minimal, and when you do get out there, you'll probably experience some pretty good fishing. We've just had the full moon, so that's out of the way now.
Yep.
So we're coming into that best time of year for work up fishing. So generally it's October, November. So from now until the full moon, I would say that'll be the best 20 days of work up fishing in the year. It's coming on now, guys. Yeah, traditionally it's now. Full moon, and that'll be, when will that be? That'll be mid-November. Then you get another cycle, and then that's usually kind of it. Then you're into your summertime fishing. So you've got 2 good months of work up fishing left. So now until Christmas is the time to go. Avoid those full moon periods, and it's going to be all on. The Firth of Thames is really firing. So I went down there. I got all the way down to the mussel farms. There was work ups in the mussel farms, and just fish after fish. Some big, some small. If you're catching lots of little ones, change schools. What I was finding is I'd fish one work up and it might be small ones, and then if I'd go to another work up, it could be big ones. So I guess the school, school's generally the same size, and they latch onto a work up, and maybe a bigger school latches onto another work up. So swap between the work ups until you find some decent fish, depending on what size you want to catch. I'm still into my small ones, mate. I'm a panty specialist.
Lucky you are, because that's usually all you catch anyway.
So 42 centimetres. I love that size because I like eating them. Another really fun way to fish the Firth of Thames is micro jigging. Fleas, weasels, as you were mentioning before. That pink and lumo weasel this time of year is micro jig. It's a micro jigging heaven, the Firth of Thames, because it's not so deep, so you can get your little micro jigs down easier.
As you know, I'm a big fan of the knife jigs. I think they're just awesome, our 60 and 80 gram. But the weasels, several people, in just over the last week, they've been saying, mate, I just love your weasels. There's nothing that looks innovative, but everything on them is exactly right. They're great shape, they're really good colours. They have their assist rigs in the perfect position. They have really good size hooks and really strong, and they just work so well. It does take a little bit more skill to actually work them properly because they're a bit lighter, but because of that, the fish have plenty of time when they're fluttering down to go and grab them. We just usually yo-yo them, just lifting and dropping, and they're super effective. Very good lures.
Here's quite a good question. Thanks, Calvin. Are stick baits working for kingies in the workups?
They should. Oh.
Yeah, the risk you run, guys, I've seen this on charter work several times now. The risk you run casting stick baits into workups is hooking gannets. And I would say
don't do it.
50% of your cast, you're going to hook a gannet. So I would say don't throw stick baits into the middle workups. Around the edges is okay, but I've even seen gannets dive on and get them. And the worst thing I've ever seen, terrible, was I saw 2 gannets on the water and they were stuck together with a stick bait. There was a treble in one's mouth, and the other one was stuck in the wing, and
That's
they were
horrible.
stuck together, mate.
That's
And one was actually dead, mate. So one was live, one was dead. So I pulled them out, let the dead one go. So just be really careful.
Don't take chances.
Please look after our seabirds, especially our gannets. They're our friends. They help us find the fish. We want to look after them. Don't cast into the middle of workups. The chances of hooking a bird are super high. So that kind of might answer your question, Calvin. We're not really into casting stick baits into workup around the edges. You'll have a lot more success.
Anytime you see some surface feeding schools on the surface, well, obviously on the surface.
Yeah.
Anytime you see them bubbling and feeding, always cast around those schools if there's not too many birds. As you were saying, like, we're the custodians of the seabirds. Like, we have something like 80% of all of the world's seabirds come to visit our area, and so we need to go and make sure they go out back out in good shape. And as you say, they do help us to go and find the birds. But definitely the Maria Rapidos, especially the 190 and the black and chrome. I think it's the 06 model.
Yep.
And also there's one that looks like a little flying fish, but it could be a mullet.
Right.
Those two have been going really, really
Awesome.
well. That's the 190.
Yep.
But I know that some of the guys went over to the Mokes and caught some really nice kingies over there as well on the 230s. So
Right. On the Maria stick
those
baits,
Marias, they work really well.
Yeah. Here's a little thing for you here, mate. Plug the Rusty Dog Pukekohe seminar. So that's already been, Becky. That was last night.
Yeah.
And I think you had a pretty good turnout.
Look, it was they had about 60 seats and 50 or 60 seats, and everyone was just jammed in there.
Awesome, mate.
And it was so good. Like, what I loved was, Rusty Dog, Pukekohe, Kiri and Dave, really good people.
Yeah.
Know what they're doing, are super passionate, and they had me there, and it was so good to have a real keen bunch of people out there, and plenty of questions, and it just went off really well. So thanks to everyone who attended, and it was a real pleasure to just be there.
Yeah.
And we sold heaps of our products. So
good. Well done.
Yeah,
That's
so
good.
it's like everyone got all fired up because it was good.
Excellent. So there's Peter Horton. G'day, mate. Thanks for joining in.
Yeah,
Firth
good on
was
you,
good.
Pete.
Saturday sliders, all colours. Yeah, the Firth is on fire. Totally agree with you there, Pete. Here's quite a good question. Probably more for you, mate, because I know you're kind of into this kind of stuff of early morning soft baiting. I'm usually in bed, and you're normally out at about 4 o'clock ringing me up to go fishing. So that's probably a better question for you, mate.
You better read it to me.
Which soft bait is best for early morning?
Yeah, that is a good question. Like, it just depends a little bit on how dark it is and just how murky the water is. If it's very, very early and it's still pretty dark, I like to have some luminous in it. So we're talking about the red bone, we're talking about nuked chicken, we're talking about the nuked pilchard, we're talking about coconut ice, although I do tend to like coconut ice in deeper waters generally. Those four are very, very good for showing up because they have luminous qualities in the belly.
Right.
But otherwise, I just like a really bright coloured one like Atomic Sunrise.
But what about that pink one?
Bruised Banana,
Pink one
Laguna.
that the charter boat, Northwest Charters uses in the mornings. Remember? We went out and those shrimps.
They went
prawns.
the
Laguna shrimp, yeah.
No, it wasn't Laguna shrimp.
Oh,
that was
chartreuse.
No, it was.
Oh.
No, it was
Stop
it was like a pearl colour, 3.5 inch, and I've forgotten what it's called now. But he did real well. But I did
bright colour. You say you say bright colours, eh?
Real bright colours. As say, like the nuked chicken once again, the Atomic Sunrise, the coral trout, the Fusilier, any of those.
Fusilier, mate.
Yeah.
How good is that bait?
Man, they're just smashing them, and hardly anyone's got them. They're hassling us for more.
I haven't even got any, mate.
I haven't got any big ones. I've got a packet of little ones.
So if you get your hands on the Z-Man 7-inch Fusiliers, get some because they're bloody good.
Collector's item at the moment, limited edition.
So that's a pretty good question from Peter. Thanks again,
Pete.
Best hook for 9-inch softie. Well, unfortunately, we don't really have 10, so it's a 10-inch softie. We don't really have them now yet. We're working on a jig head to make it happen. So you may have to look at another brand until we get ourselves sorted. But we do have our Cyclops version 2 coming soon, which has a hook that's separated from the head. So you better use that, Pete, and that fits the 10-inch soft baits, and it's got a little lead keeper on it as well.
Right.
So if you want to fish it on the surface, you'll be able to use that. And if you want to fish it on the Cyclops, you better use that as well. So that's going to be a good solution. But I was thinking today, I'm going to make some jig heads, some 2-ounce jig heads with 7 barrows, some big ones, because I think some people are starting to use those 10-inch baits. You know, Andre was up north, and he got like 3 fish over 20 pounds in a morning. Fishing in shallow water with a massive 10-inch soft bait on a 1-ounce jig head. So we do need to make some more jig heads, so we will make some other sizes soon.
At the moment, like the ones that you can usually rely on would have to probably come like the Nitros.
The
Berkeley's
Berkeley's a good brand.
So if you're looking for that, looking for a good option, that one is probably the best at the moment. I think there's some at Seven Burrow or something in there that do the job. So yeah, until we come up with our own. Which will
let's recommend our competitors. Let's recommend.
Especially as
let's recommend like Berkeley, mate. They're good guys. So you just use the Berkeley ones until we sort ourselves out. They're good jig heads as well.
But having said that, I've actually caught quite a few fish on our long shank. Just our normal ones.
Or our long shank.
Just use our long shank.
Yeah, we'll use our long shanks. I know Mark is starting to warm up to the long shanks now.
I'm not warming up, mate. I've definitely warmed up and I'm on it.
You're on it now.
I'm on the train. I'm going toot. And let's go and use the long shanks for 7 inch.
Definitely, they are pretty good.
Yeah, just perfectly positioned. Like it's taken my hookup rate from probably about a third to a half.
Really?
And I'm finding that I hook up more on the first bite rather than me having to tease them into another one or two afterwards. Yeah, very impressed.
Hooked a donkey. Here we go. On the Pete, it looks like you've already hooked one, mate. That's good. So yeah, these 10-inch soft baits, guys, they're huge. They're like 10 inches long, mate. So I think they're all sold out too, mate.
We've kind of done too well just recently, haven't we? Got a few things that run out. Sorry, everyone.
We have got more Z-Mans coming, guys, and we do it.
We've got a lady who's going to get all the stuff on time.
We've got a new staff member now, and her job is to make sure we don't run out of staff because Mark and I are not
very good at it.
We're not very good at it, mate.
We're still learning.
Yeah, we're still learning here. So we don't have to learn anymore. We don't have to do that anymore. So that's good.
Thank goodness.
Yeah, thank goodness. So our stock should improve. 10 inch, and get hands on Fusiliers, get some. You'll notice with some of the sliders now, they've got a little bit of a different shape. We used to, so we still believe lead with no insert is the best. I've tried everything, including ceramic tubes, all that stuff, and pure lead was the best. I tested it many times. And so what's changed is we used to countersink the hole with a drill bit, but we were getting a little bit of slag in there, so now we've moulded that into the mould. So you'll see sliders with a moulded hole. No insert still though. But with our coin drops, we have found a material that is quite good for an insert, but only in one end, not in both ends. So that's coming. Craig Robinson, thanks for the Nitro promotion. That's all right, buddy. You guys are good guys. Yeah, you are. So we like you. We love you, man. We love you.
Yeah, actually, when I was at Rusty Dog yesterday, they put our sign up above all the Berkeley product.
Did they?
And did a video of it.
All right. Did you send it to Craig? Awesome. Yeah. What else, mate?
What else?
About it?
Yeah, it's about it.
So, should we do if you were going to go fishing on Friday, where are you going to go? What time are you going to launch? And what style of fishing and what type of lures are you going to use?
I really love early morning, and so often I find that up until around about 10 or 11 in the morning is when I get all my fish. In fact, even sometimes just till 9, so I make an effort to go and get out at a reasonable time. I would be going probably out of Whangaparoa because that way I can check to see if there's any workups at the end of the peninsula or over at Tiritiri, and then I'd make my way down towards Kawa, or either going out towards Flat Rock if it's looking good, or perhaps Mataora or Saddle or something like that, around that area, just to go and check it out because it's been pretty consistent for birds and all sorts of other dolphins and stuff like that, so it's been pretty cool.
And soft baiting?
I'm always a soft baiter, mate. It's only when you make me do something else that I try something else.
And so what soft bait are you going to use? What jig are you going to use?
I'm just going to be Atomic Sunrise and probably motor oil and bruised banana.
What about Fusilier? Oh, you don't have any?
I don't have any.
All right, so good.
Yeah, how about you?
So I love workup fishing, mate, as you know. I love it. Some people say it's boring. I think it's so exciting, mate. Yeah. So exciting. And me being like, I get bored pretty easily. So it really feeds my desire to have constant action. Yep. So I'm actually thinking now on Sunday, I'm going to go and launch at Sandspit. I'm going to go out, take my spinner rods and my knife jigs, probably take my kids. And because those spinner rods are awesome for the kids, get some knife jigs.
They're good for anyone.
See if those workups are still off just look between Flat Rock and Takatu Point on the inside of the cable zone. It's just a short ride out to there and see if we can spend the day being in work up, seeing whales, dolphins, dropping down knife jigs with the kids and see if they can catch some good sized snapper.
Good time for family time, for
Good,
sure.
good. So a great time to take your kids out fishing because, you know, just seeing the whales
Nice
and the
and calm.
dolphins, that's, you know, sometimes more exciting than the actual fishing for them.
Yeah.
So, you know, that's all out there right now. And I wouldn't be surprised if there's blue whales here shortly, if
No,
not
I've
already.
never seen one, mate.
Yeah, I saw a
never
couple
seen
last year.
one.
About 12 came into the Gulf last year because there was so much food, and it looks like there's a bounty amount of bait there at the moment. So,
Only problem those
Whangaparra Bay, further Thames, those kind of areas. But I certainly wouldn't be travelling too far. I don't think there's any need to travel all the way to Great Barrier or all the way to Channel Island and all that stuff. I think you can find a lot of fishing close. And I actually had breakfast with Nick Key yesterday, and he was telling me he went all the way to Barrier. He's doing a Barrier trip. It was once he got past like Tirri, he said it was dead all the way to Barrier, which often happens. You know, when they come in close, they're in this certain depth of water, and you can go get what I get horizonitis, go chasing them for miles, and they're not out there. So certainly don't drive past things this time of year. Make sure you check things out, even if they're in close, because you may be surprised the size of the snapper, even in areas like Ringy Channel. If you see a work up there, they can certainly be some good fish to be caught in close in your small boats. Great time of year for small boats.
I just won't be able to recognise you not charging off at the horizon. Like, you know, whenever I go with you, I go, oh, here goes like 2 hours of hard out, flying along at a zillion miles an hour.
Yeah, no, I do like it. I still enjoy it. And so my Tuesday tutorials, I'm doing one next week. I think there might be one spot left over I think I'm doing about 4 or 5 Tuesdays in a row. I think there's about one spot left. So if you want to come on one of those, make sure you get in quick. Me and Eric Wong, Fishing Direct. He knows a lot about our gear because he's my deckhand. So Fishing Direct in Silverdale. Eric knows everything about ocean angler gear. So if you want to go, if you live up there and you want to know stuff, also you know, Dave's good there as well. Yeah, they're all good at Fishing Direct there. They're one of our good supporters. And you know, also Whangaparra, there's Connor's up there as well. He's mad keen into his half hooker fishing at the moment. So if you want to go and get some ideas about half hooker fishing,
he's been smashing it.
He's
This
getting
guy goes by himself,
miles
out in his little boat, out to near the Mokes, and he used one of our, was it kind of like an experimental
giant jitterbug. Yeah, and Henry caught a big one.
Big hooker, a bass, was it?
Bass, I think he caught. Yeah,
big bass.
Yeah, so if you're into your deep water dropping, certainly go and talk to Connor because he's pretty passionate about it. He's doing it all the time. He's making videos about it. So I'm sure he would help you out if you wanted to give that a go.
Spot, probably.
He might give you some of his spots. You know, he's probably not going to give you his A+ spot, but you know, some of these spots are quite big areas. So he might. I'm sure he'd give you some clues and ideas where to go if you wanted to try deep dropping for poker and bass. Go and see Connor.
Yeah, good on you, Connor. You do a really good job, mate.
Yeah, and you know, coming into game fishing, not yet, but you know, the boys are fishing direct. They're big on their game fishing too. Yeah, so a really good area for ocean angler up there.
Cool. Yeah, thanks, guys.
Yeah. All right, boys and girls. Thanks for watching, everyone.
Appreciate it.
And Mark and I are going to get out fishing soon. We've fished together for a while. So hopefully you'll see us out soon, competing, just nicely, friendly.
Yeah.
Hopefully not eating secret sauce because I don't want to go down that road again.
Oh, it's fine.
Yeah. So hopefully we'll see you all soon. And yes, it's certainly a good time of year for fishing. And Friday and Sunday look pretty good. So take a day off Friday, save Sunday, save some brownie points to get out there and go and catch yourself some nice tasty snapper.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah. All right, see you around.
Ocean Angler signing out.